Hi, this is Matt Yarborough, bass fishing coach for St. Xavier High School in Louisville, Kentucky. I've got a couple of spinnerbaits I want to show you today. These are, mostly I'm going to show you these ones that are made by a company called War Eagle. I've really gotten into them the last few months. This past fall I really had a lot of success on them. It's kind of a finesse spinnerbait. They come in 3/16 and 5/16, and I had some good luck throwing both of those sizes, and here are those two sizes. This is the larger one, the 5/16 and the 3/16. Chartreuse and white. They have nice blades on them, kind of a hybrid blade in between a Colorado and a willow leaf. I think this is called a Colorado or Indiana blade. And then they have a little willow leaf, or Colorado at the top. So it's a double bladed bait. Gives off a nice amount of flash and kick in the water, but it's not overly aggressive. Fairly small, but pretty tough. I've caught a lot of fish, particularly on this one. I caught a lot of fish on this fall, and it's held up really well. It's got a nice sharp hook on it. Just throw it out there, let it go down some little steeper banks. You can fish it around brush, shoreline brush, different things. Just wind it in, give it an occasional little twitch, but I had the most success just slow rolling it. The fish really responded well to it. So a couple of rods I throw this on. Either a medium spinning rod if you're going to throw, particularly the smaller one, 3/16. Doesn't throw that well on a bait caster, I figured out. Throws a little better on a spinning rod. If you're going to throw it to shoreline cover in shallow water, you have to be good at a technique of deadening the line with your I'm throwing with my right hand. I'll grab the line with my left hand right before it hits the water and kind of feather it into the water. If I'm throwing on a bait caster, I can make a more splash-free entry. This is a little slower speed bait cast reel, either medium or slow speed. I think it's going to work well for this. A little more forgiving rod, a little more give to it, a little more bend. It's going to be good for either crankbaits or spinnerbaits, I feel like. With spinnerbaits, you can get away with a stiffer rod. You're going to need a little bit heavier hook set since you've got a thicker hook that you're trying to bury. So I'm going to throw this anywhere from 8 to 15 or 20 pound test, depending on the kind of cover I'm fishing and the kind of conditions. Typically think lighter line, get a little more bites, but you're going to need a little bit of line strength for these. You can't throw on too light a line because you do have to make a nice strong hook set. So that would be the basic setup for spinnerbaits. Some other ones that are pretty good. This is a Strike King bait. Comes packaged with a trailer hook. Can be good on certain days when they're short striking. And this one you can see has some nice big Colorado blades on it, which give off a good amount of kick. This is good for a little dirtier water. Also chartreuse and white. Any kind of shad pattern, a bluegill pattern, depending on what fish are feeding on. But this is a minnow imitation, so I'll typically stick with shad kind of colors, white and chartreuse. Another kind of variations on this is called a chatterbait. It's got a little blade on it that essentially kind of makes it go back and forth, almost like a crankbait. But you can see it's also chartreuse and white. Sometimes I'll throw this in black or darker color if I'm fishing dirtier water or at night. And same thing goes for the spinnerbaits. If I'm fishing at night, I might throw a black spinnerbait, some kind of strong color like that stand out to the fish. Another good choice. This is a topwater bait called a buzzbait, and this is a small one. As it goes along the top, the little blade spins, kicks off some bubbles. And I'll typically either run this right along the top kind of aggressively, or I'll run it slightly subsurface and occasionally pop it up on the surface, which is a nice technique as well. Different kind of trailers. This is a twin tail, kind of like a frog imitation trailer. This one's black. It's good at night. Good in the day, really. This is a good all-around bait. When the fish are up shallow, you're fishing around shallow grass or just along the shoreline. So there you go. Various spinnerbaits.